In the Nintendo Direct from June 18th, 2024, a lot of new games and game updates were announced, and one of the games that was announced was a game called Mario and Luigi Brothership. Fans were very excited to hear about this game because it's a very good sign for the entire series, and it's also a brand new beginning for the entire series. So why exactly is this? Well, let's dive into the history of the Mario and Luigi series a bit, shall we? Given how some series of games that were initially handheld, like the core series of Pokemon, have made their way onto the Nintendo Switch, which happens to be both a home and handheld console, hence its popularity, us fans knew it was only a matter of time that the Mario and Luigi series would finally make its way onto the Switch all the same. The Mario & Luigi series, with its own approach to Mario RPGs that made it its own category separate from that of the Paper Mario games, spanned a couple of successful games at its beginning, even as it transitioned from the Game Boy Advance to the Nintendo DS with Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, followed by Partners in Time, peaking with Bowser's Inside Story as its most successful entry. The different settings and unique characters with their own personalities are what helped contribute to this, all with the company Alpha Dream working alongside Nintendo. As the series moved on to the 3DS console, the games in the series took on a new art style that helped to define the next generation of games in its series, starting with Mario and Luigi Dream Team, which, being one of the games released for the year of Luigi in 2013, put a special spotlight on Luigi and made him the center of attention with all the special attributes that the game has. Unfortunately, Dream Team is where the quality of the Mario & Luigi series started to plummet. This is because Dream Team has a bunch of unnecessary excessive padding and these unskippable cutscenes and dialogue to the point that even a typical playthrough of the game takes more than a day. It also has mandatory features like the horrible gyro controls for the giant Luigi battles, which we dislike so much that we have to judge them separately from the rest of the game's battle system. At least the giant Bowser battles from Inside Story fared greatly enough as part of their whole. Another poor aspect of Dream Team is how the later parts of the game shift towards Bowser being the main villain when he is already the main villain in the mainline series of Mario games. It's no secret that in Mario RPGs we prefer to have Bowser as a playable protagonist rather than the main villain. Sure, he was the main villain in the first Paper Mario game, but the overall concept and execution of that game was so well done that we'll allow it. Not many people noticed this, but the batch of enemies in Dream Team go from the unique, quirky creatures the Mario & Luigi series is known for, to that same typical pool of Mario enemies that are well known in the mainline series of Mario games. I'm talking about piranha plants, Goombas, Koopas, Shy Guys, Bob-ombs, Dry Bones, and so on. Enemies that are basically a part of the Super Mario brand. Enemies that every Mario fan knows about and are familiar with. Enemies that are a part of the Mario Mandate that restricted even Mario RPG games to the point of being in a dark age. This horrible presentation of uncreativeness was made abundantly clear when we got the next game in the series, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, which crossed over with the Paper Mario series, specifically the Sticker Star era, which was already established as the bad era of Paper Mario. Now, Dream Team and Paper Jam do have enough good qualities that there are people who do like them, but the flaws they have and share are enough for me to think of them as subpar. Especially with the restrictions these games had around this time, what with the chokehold known as the Mario Mandate. Creativity is a major contributing factor in not just the Mario RPGs, but all RPGs in general. The limitations the Mario & Luigi series had at the time, that's why this era of games was lackluster. That is not to say that the latter half of this era didn't try to compensate for this. The first game, Superstar Saga, was revamped and remade for the 3DS. This could have been a return to form for the series, but the game still suffered from the rules of the Mario Mandate. Things like the designs of the enemies in the games were affected by this. This problem would of course carry over to the remake of Bowser's Inside Story, which was made at the expense of a Partners in Time remake due to the third game's overwhelming bestseller status over the second, and the fact that Alpha Dream would go bankrupt afterwards. meaning that the right to the Mario and Luigi series and its intellectual property would go right back to Nintendo. 5 years later, we are finally getting another Mario and Luigi game, this time for the Nintendo Switch, Mario and Luigi Brothership. From what we've seen so far, this game could potentially reinvigorate the series, putting an end to the series' dark era and providing a new beginning for the series. The reason for this is because Nintendo has been showing a lot of signs of improvement lately with their games. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, with its overall uniqueness and stellar continuation of the Super Mario Bros. Series of games, and breathing new life into older games that we loved growing up, like Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Ever since then, fans have been convinced that Nintendo is going to stop with the Mario mandate and give us exactly what we want, including the things we want in a Mario and Luigi game. Brothership revamps the series and gives it an improved look just like Dream Team did, giving it a 3D cartoon aesthetic similar to games like Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, only being refined enough to be considered a true Mario and Luigi game from what we've seen so far in the trailer. The game appears to be a very spiritual sequel to Bowser's Inside Story. Seeing Bowser as one of your allies in this game alongside Peach is a very good sign for this game and for this franchise. The new settings and characters we see in this game are exactly what we want to see in a Mario & Luigi game, especially with the villain characters being the same new, unique, quirky types we like to see. Judging from the characters we've seen so far in the trailer, the theme seems to be electricity and electrical outlets. The character that's supposed to take Starlow's place and travel with us is not a pig, but rather they look like a pig, but their face is actually an electrical outlet. Many of the other characters in this game also have faces that resemble electrical outlets. As a matter of fact, the name of the character that travels with us, his name is a combination of the word snout and outlet. Snoutlet. And that's not even the only pun in the game that has to do with electrical wiring. So first it was Stuffwell, then Starlow, then Dreambert, and now Snoutlet. Who's Stuffwell? Exactly. Now that Nintendo has redeemed themselves, I can see Mario and Luigi Brothership being a very good game, just like Inside Story. And who knows, maybe in 2026 we'll actually get a Partners in Time remake. But with the Nintendo Switch 2 right around the corner, and the fact that Partners in Time itself was not exactly a masterpiece to begin with, the Mario & Luigi series may instead continue to venture out into new territory. But as long as Brothership proves to be the strong, fresh start that this series desperately needs, we can still expect great things from this and more in entries yet to come, so be sure to stay tuned. I talk about games and make in-depth videos about some games, so for that and more, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and happy gaming!